I have the question for the people who have absolutely no clue. What is TRE?
Okay. Alrighty. So very simply put, TRE is a series of exercises that activates a mild shaking in the body. It's the same type of shaking you get when you're frightened, as an example. If you're afraid and you start to shake, or if you're excited, you go, oh my God, I just won lottery. Oh my God, I can't believe it, I'm shaking.
Right.
That shaking is the nervous system taking a high charge of excitement
and bringing it down
and starting to reduce it. So it's really called a down-regulating mechanism built into the nervous system that when you get too charged, the body knows how to discharge it.
Right. And if somebody would like to try TRE, especially after this event that we've been through, where should they start? Where should they seek? And what should they be looking for?
The easiest thing to do, first of all, we have an app, a book, and a DVD.
All right.
So go to traumaprevention.com and you can get any of them. You can go to Amazon to get my books.
All right.
But here's the point. All you need to do, because they're simple exercises, but you have to just follow the process just once. Because once you activate the tremor mechanism,
it's very easy to get it on.
It will activate or reactivate simply after that. So you can keep repeating it over and over many, many times, and the tremor mechanism will move through your body, constantly looking for tension patterns and releasing them.
Yeah, I've experienced it. I've done it at home, and I've had the release after I think 30 minutes to 1 hour of like the body started to telling me it's time to cry, and I just went on with it. And after crying and then laughing, anger, and then back to anxiety, and then.
Good for you that you stayed with it through all of that, because you could see the huge effect it can have with very little effort.
And you
really
feel so incredibly zen. So it's like that's why I'm very grateful for finally meeting you. And, because I want to show it to other people who are suffering from maybe physical injuries or whatsoever.
Right.
So
before you asked it, did you do it by reading a book? How did you do
No, I found it on YouTube. I found it, I was very interested in the Wim Hof method, and then I started shifting deeper into the emotional correlation to fascia.
Right.
And then I found TRE, and then I watched this online seminar from 45 minutes, I think, and they explain it like with the stress bar, and you have like balance, fight, and then freeze.
Right.
And
right.
I kind of understood it's like when you said before, like you're not aware anymore. You're just not in your body anymore.
Right. Right.
So, and then you can bring it back.
Right.
Bring it down,
exactly.
of course.
See, the way we're designed, every human organism is designed to have a soft, moving, feeling body that it feels pleasurable inside there.
Yeah.
And because of that reason, we like staying in it. We like staying connected to it. And so that's what we call that strange word grounding, is when the brain likes being in the body and it doesn't have to leave because something's painful or unpleasant.
Yeah.
See,
and
dumbass.
How dumbass?
See.
Yeah, that's
See,
why
that's
I know
perfect.
nothing, and that's why I call myself a dumbass.
Love it. Well, I think it's wonderful though, because there's a humility in that I think reflects, for me, that's why I love the name of it. I only followed you because I love the name. And I thought, he's onto something very important, because he's making complex things simple.
Yeah.
And I really like that.
That's I just try to fix my own bullshit and show the solutions.
Wonderful.
So what would be the biggest takeaways for somebody who would use TRE?
Well, there are a number of different things. Usually the first thing they get is they feel relaxed afterwards. And like military, often they'll just fall asleep when they're done. So that tells me it's calming down the nervous system. And so that's the first thing usually that happens. But what's more important for a lot of people who are like doing body work these days, a lot of weightlifters and acrobatics and stuff, that's a big thing in your culture at your generation now, is that you hurt and you bang up your body, you bruise yourself, you hurt your shoulder and your neck and things like that. This will get out or resolve all those bruises and bumps and contractions and pains that you have, because it's physiological, meaning it follows the fascia and muscle tissue. That's all it can do. It doesn't have a logic of anything.
Yeah.
It's just following what's available, and when it hits something that's too tight, kind of bangs up against it. And you can know immediately, my diaphragm's too tight, the tremors are going here.
Yeah.
So now you could figure out anything you need to, release the diaphragm. Once you do that, it goes through there, it'll go right up the chest, into the shoulders and neck and arms.
Right.
So it basically shows you the inside of your body. And what usually happens is I'll get people to say, even sports people say, oh, that was from 6 years ago, I thought I healed that. And I can feel it in my hip, it's still there. See, so once we bruise ourselves or get banged up, we often think that we have healed it, but we've simply learned a new way to live with it.
That's
and
just
that's
compensation.
very different.
Yeah. I have this feeling that I've done it a couple of times in my life so far, and I came to the feeling that I can, like, if I focus on my diaphragm, stuff happens around my diaphragm.
Right.
If I focus on my elbow or my jaw or even my face after being stoned and trying TRE, my face goes like smiling, angry, it goes all between each other.
Right.
But what is your experience with focusing on a particular point in the body and using that in TRE?
Okay, first of all, I believe that's how we're designed to be. That's an integrated brain and body. When I can focus on the shoulder, feel the tremors in my pelvis, and the tremors will slowly move to where I'm focusing. But here's the problem in our culture, is that too many people have a big ego and they try to control it rather than focus it. Those are two different things. So I tell people you have to first learn how to let go of control and let the tremors go wherever they go. Once you learn how to let go of control and feel comfortable with that, now you can start focusing it. And that's different than controlling it. Because if they only know how to control, what they'll do is control it around the areas that need to release. Because that's uncomfortable for them.
Maybe a tip for me would just be like, just be. And
the tip is to balance them two. One session, you just let it be, because it may surprise you, and it goes in a whole different direction you didn't know about. Then the next time you do it with a focus. See, but keep going back and forth so you learn both how to be out of control and in control. That's our balance.
Okay, and how did you get out? How did you made up TRE? When did you get to meet the feeling?
Okay, so it started when I was living in Africa and the Middle East, and I was living in countries that were at war, see, and in those war experiences myself, I often shook out of fear, but so did all my friends. And I realized as I watched this pattern is that we would shake the minute we would first hear shooting or bombing. We'd start to shake out of fear. And the shaking would last through the entire episode of bombing. And then after it was over, the shaking would stop.
Immediately or just?
Usually a few minutes after, like, we would talk to each other. Oh my God, that was wild. Did you hear that? And I thought it was going to hit us. And so we were, in a sense, processing it without clinically processing it. We were just talking normal. And the talking helped us calm down. And we would laugh and joke with each other and say, oh, my leg was shaking so bad. I couldn't even run. I couldn't jump under the car, whatever we were doing.
That's like a stadium before the freezing, right?
Yes. Yeah, the fight or flight response is before the freeze, see? And so we didn't freeze, we did have fight or flight responses, and the nervous system tried to calm it down. So when I saw that there was a systematic cycle going on here, then I knew that had to be organic in the human body, that somehow that mechanism knows when to start and when to stop. So my question was, if that mechanism knows how to do that, could that possibly be helping us rather than damaging us, or rather than it's a pathology, meaning a negative expression of the fear? Was it a positive expression of the fear? Then that's when I began playing with that concept, and that's how TRE was born.
And you just started doing research?
I started doing some research. I was still living in the Middle East, and this was before we had a lot of internet access. But me and my friends would play with it. Because I was already a massage therapist, so I already knew body work. I was a bioenergetic therapist. I knew bioenergetics. So I'd say, well, let's see. let's figure out what we can do with this shaking. Let's play with it. So I had 5 close friends, and we would just do exercises. We'd see how we could get the body shake. And from my anatomy background, I systematically put together the 7 exercises that guaranteed shaking with as little effort as possible.
Yeah. Nice, and you deload your stress as well.
That's
I guess.
it. Oh yeah, all the time. I do it every day, actually.
Every day.
Yeah, it's fun. It makes me relax.
Yeah, but you were in war zones. What were you doing there?
I was working with a non-profit organization, and we were working with refugees of war.
All right.
So that's what I was doing. So I lived in Lebanon, and Yemen, and Egypt, and Sudan, and
that's
yeah, a lot of those places.
Yeah, that must be stressful.
Well, it was stressful, but I have to admit, it was one of the most fascinating times of my life. I didn't think that necessarily at the time, all the time, but afterwards, that's such a rare human experience to live in circumstances like that, to see, which is my interesting question, how do humans grow and behave in violence?
Yes.
Like, how can we still come alive and be full of life and life-giving, even living in such difficult situations as war or political violence?
And for how long did you do that?
Well, I did that in the Middle East for 9 years. A little bit more, maybe.
That's quite a time.
Yeah. But it was fascinating. I saw the human
in its most
person in its most
precious
primitive. Yeah. Exactly. It's in survival behavior, and that was a rare experience to both see it and experience it.
That would be my following question. I mean, like, experiencing stuff like that, it must have had an impact on your life.
Oh yeah, I had post-traumatic stress when I came out of those war zones.
All right.
But I knew I had it. But that also gave me the chance to go inside from my personal experience to see what works and what doesn't work.
Yeah.
So I really was using it on myself much more before I started using it on other people.
And did you still try it with friends when you were trying it on yourself back in the States?
Yeah. I was still doing it with close friends, telling them what my experience was. Here's what we do. If they had a similar experience to mine, so that I knew that I could work with them in a way that would be useful for me, then we would do it together. People who did not have that experience of terror would not have the same availability for what I was looking for.
Yeah. And how long did that last before you had to switch and thought, all right, I have to share this?
The whole process probably lasted about 5 years. It was just reading, familiarizing myself with things, talking to different people around it, trying new things over and over and over, until I can really say in about 5 years, I knew it, I got it, this is it. And that's when I published my first book. Like, this is it, buy this book, do these exercises.
And do you believe with the exercises you present to people, people can like suffer so much less and live more fully instead of like using medicine to treat symptoms, for an example?
Yeah, well see, the shaking mechanism or the tremor mechanism is genetically encoded in us. And its purpose is to take us from a place of not living life, meaning fear and contraction, and just restore us back to life, which means openness and softness and pleasure. See, so the tremor mechanism itself is designed to do that. And in that sense, yes, it will bring every person back to life because that's its only job in a sense. That's what it does.
Yeah, homeostasis.
Yeah, exactly. It restores homeostasis, and then we feel, oh, life is good. That's it.
So, how is your life at the moment? Because you've been traveling, I guess, and doing seminars.
I've traveled all over
workshops.
the world. I'm an old man now, and I'm tired, and I want to go home and not talk to anybody anymore. but it's like I've done what I could do.
Yeah.
I love doing it. I love teaching it, etc. It's the traveling part. As I get older, it gets more tiring.
Yeah,
that's all.
I can imagine.
But the teaching part, I love.
Yeah.
See.
So it's I mean, from the moment on I met you, it's like it's really you have a very nice vibe. You have good energy. You have a smile, and
I enjoy people. I enjoy people who are interested in TRE, and I try to show them, look, this is yours. This is for you.
Yeah.
take it and play with it in your life and see if it has value. I really have no need for them to buy into it or anything like that. I'm just showing us what is your human body really capable of doing. And if this is what it needs to do that, give it a try and see if you can come to life more. And enjoy it as a pleasurable experience rather than a painful recovery process.
Right. All right. And what would be, I think I already asked that, the biggest takeaways for somebody who's
the biggest takeaway, that we live in a human organism that knows it's going to experience stress, trauma, that knows what to do with it, it knows how to survive it, and it knows how to resolve it. Meaning the body knows how to go through the complete cycle of going from a place of stress to high anxiety and returning itself back to calmness again. And it's built into us. That's the final message. It's built into us. The body already knows how to do it. Give it a chance.
Yeah, absolutely. I firmly believe in that. And do you happen to know any other, I call TRE a golden nugget, because I've experienced it and I felt incredible release in tension of my emotional stress that made its way to my physical stress, of course. So I happened to meet Wim Hof a couple of months ago, and I hope to meet Naudi Egler from Functional Patterns. Maybe you've heard of him?
Yes.
But do you happen to know any other people?
There are so many other of them, really. But the key to knowing whether they're good or not is if they integrate the brain and the body.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's what I really missed with a lot of physiotherapists.
Exactly right. They usually do one part or the other, whereas the human organism is designed for that whole process to be integrated. See? And so that's what you're looking. Somatosensory work, which is Pat Ogden's work. Peter Levine does somatic experiencing.
All right.
They're the only two I can think of off the top of my head. Bioenergetics is a very good one too, that does both body work. Yes, yes, we express ourselves a lot in bioenergetics. Core energetics is another one. So stay in the field of looking for
the integration of
integrate
soul and moving.
Body and psyche together.
Yeah.
If they do, you're good on target there.
All right. Yeah, that's the quest for me. I'm hoping to resolve my injuries, and I know nothing. That's why I'm the injured dumbass.
Yeah, wonderful. It's a pleasure.
It was a pleasure to meet you today.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Keep doing your videos. They're wonderful.
Yeah, sure. All right. Awesome. And now it's time to have a drink, I guess.
All right. It's time for me to drink because my throat's getting dry.
I can imagine.
Okay.
Awesome, Dave. Thank you very much.
You have to send me the video or put it on YouTube and let me know when you put it on there.
Yeah,
I'll put it on my Facebook page for you.
All right, cool, man.
That was fun. I didn't know that's who you were. I watch your videos and laugh. I saw them just by accident. I thought, who's this guy who calls him a dumbass? Well, and they're wonderful videos. Actually, they're really funny.
To be honest, I haven't published a video yet, so I thought.
Oh, you haven't?
I thought you were.
There's another. No. There's another guy that calls himself dumbass. Then.
Oh, but the name is Injured Dumbass.
Oh, Injured Dumbass. That might be different. Oh, I'm sorry then. Well, then you have to publish yours.
Yeah, I had. Now you put a lot of pressure on my shoulder.
Absolutely, I'm putting pressure on you. You know how to release it now, so I don't care.
Oh, yeah, sure.